Hi guys, I'm back to have a video for you guys. It's been a while since I've uploaded a video before the holidays. So I am here to give you guys like a story time video, just a little bit. I'm actually sitting on my floor because baby Zoe is here and she's actually sleeping. I don't want to be super loud, but she's up there sleeping and getting her little nap in before her dad comes. This video, if you guys can read the title, it's pretty much my labor and delivery story. I didn't vlog. I just wanted to have the moment to ourselves because I feel like the whole pregnancy was pretty much public to everybody. Everybody knew what I was going through and everything like that. So I just was like, maybe this is something that I can actually save for just me and him. So that's what I did. I didn't vlog it at all. It was a pretty long process anyway, to where I just didn't feel like keep grabbing my camera and, hey guys, so I'm still in labor, still waiting. I'm only 2 centimeters. Like, I didn't want to keep doing that because that's how long it really was, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the story. So on Christmas night, I was actually having contractions really bad, and my family was like, girl, you in labor. And at first it was a joke, like I was in pain, and my cousins yelled because like all the guys in the family were downstairs. So they were downstairs in the basement, and my cousins, they're like, Sha'Kida's in labor, Sha'Kida's in labor. Everyone ran upstairs and they're like, you're in labor, you're in labor. You know how guys are, like, oh, you're in labor, you're in labor, you're in labor, you're in labor, oh my god, you're in labor. I mean, like, it was a joke at first because, you know, the pains, we weren't counting them, like we weren't timing them or anything. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, I need to time these. So they were 6 minutes apart, and my cousin was like, yep, you're having that baby tonight or, you know, overnight. And I'm like, nah, I don't think so. I don't think this is really that serious. I felt this pain before. They're like, yeah, but they're like back to back. So I just was like, okay, fine, whatever. I usually, when I'm with my family, I like to stay until everyone leaves. We were at my grandma's house, so I like to stay until everyone leaves. But Christmas, I just wasn't for it. I was in so much pain. I just wanted to come home and get in the bed, and that's exactly what I did. We got home like around 11-ish, probably a little bit before 11, and I laid down, still was having these pains 6 minutes apart. And then like 1:30 in the morning, I got up. I was like, can't do this. So I go into my mom's room. Her room is literally next door to me. So I'm like, Mom. She jumps up like, what? I'm like, I think we need to go to the hospital. I think it's time. She's like, okay. She's putting her clothes on. I'm getting my bag. There was still some like last minute things I had to put in there, like my charger, my earphones, and stuff like that. So I was putting things into there. And I'm like, the only thing that's going through my mind like is, should I call her dad? Should I call her dad? Should I call her dad? And I was like, no, I'm not gonna call him. I'm not gonna text him until they keep me, or they say they're gonna keep me. So we get to the we're driving to the hospital, and I feel like my mom is not rushing the process. Like, the drive to the hospital was so long and dragged out, it felt like. But we get to the hospital, they put me in a room, and it's like 2 o'clock at this moment. I'm still going through contractions. They're still 6 minutes apart. She's like, well, you're only 1.5 centimeters dilated. Are you freaking kidding me? Lady, no. Check again. But I really was only 1.5 centimeters dilated. So, well, no. I was a centimeter. And then I finally text him around like 5 in the morning. Like, I'm at the hospital. I'm really only 1 centimeter dilated. So then they come back in around like 7, and they're like, we're just gonna send you home. They checked me again. I was 1.5 centimeters. So they sent me home, and me and my mom, we went to breakfast. Well, I came home, got in the shower, changed my clothes, everything like that. We went to breakfast, and I swear people looked at me like I was crazy in Bob Evans, because I was having contractions like hell, okay? And I was like, I wasn't making noise, but you could like see it all over my face. Like, I can't even reenact the look that I gave, but I pretty much was in pain, and everyone was looking at me like, oh my gosh, she's about to have this baby in here. After we left Bob Evans, we pretty much walked around the mall. Here in Maryland, we have this mall called Arundel Mills Mall, and this mall is so big that people actually exercise throughout this mall just by walking around the mall, or whatever people do for exercise, around the whole entire mall. So we walked around the whole entire mall probably like 2 times. I was over it, like over it. We went to exchange some of my mom's Christmas gifts. I'm in the line, like hunched over and wanting to cry, but I'm a soldier. I don't cry. Pretty much, yeah, that was what we did at the mall. And then we go home, and I already said I am going back to the hospital tonight. So my ex, he pretty much asked me, he was like, are you going back to the hospital? I'm like, yes, I'm going tonight, like around 8, 9 o'clock. So the day goes on, he comes to the house, and it's like around 10:30-ish, and I'm just like, come on, I'm ready to go. At this time, my contractions are 5 minutes apart, and we go back to the hospital. They're like, oh, you're back again? Yeah, I'm trying to get this baby out of me. That's why I'm back. Okay, so let's make this happen. So they checked me. They said I was only 3 centimeters dilated, and I'm like, oh my gosh, all that walking around I did today, and you mean to tell me I'm only 3 centimeters dilated? Is my baby stubborn or no? They were like, we don't know if 3 centimeters is enough to keep you, but earlier they told me if I was 3 centimeters, they would have kept me. So I just was like, oh my God, they're gonna send me home. They come back in, and they're like, you're having a baby tonight. And I'm like, oh my God, it's time. They put me in a delivery room because they had me in like this exam room that was so small, crunched, whatever. So they put me into the delivery room, and it pretty much, like, how was this? Like, the delivery room was big, but the room that I had before, it just seemed so much bigger. But that doesn't matter. My dog's drinking water, if that's what you're hearing. And around this time, it's like 12 o'clock now, 12 in the morning, and my cousins are like, what's going on? Are you having the baby? And I'm like, I'm only 3 centimeters dilated. So like around 3 in the morning, they decide to break my water, and they're like, okay, now you're in active labor. And pain was on a scale 1 to 10. It probably was like a 5 or 6. The nurse was like, your pain tolerance level is really high. And I never knew my tolerance level for pain at all. So this was very interesting to hear, because she's like, you're so calm and relaxed. But in my, like, I was really in pain. Like, yeah, I say it was 5 to 6, but it still hurt. Like, but it's whatever. They break my water, then they decide to give me an epidural. And that I was so scared for. I was freaking out. When they were putting it in, I just was like I was so scared that it was gonna hurt. It was crazy. So then I'm just going through contractions. My mom and my ex, they both fell asleep, so I'm just up like, oh my god, I don't have anybody to talk to, and I'm just chilling here and everything like that. So they keep checking me, and I wasn't dilating. I was like 4 centimeters at this time, and I just wasn't dilating anymore. And then like around 12 o'clock, this lady comes in. 12 o'clock the next day, guys, like noon the next day, this lady comes in with like a exercise ball, but it was shaped as a peanut. And she's like, put this between your legs, blah, blah, blah. So I was on my right side for like an hour. And then I was on my left side, no, my right side for an hour and a half. And then my left side for like, it felt like 2 hours. It was longer than the left side. I mean, the right side. So the left side was really long. And by the time they came back in, it was like 2 or 3. And they said to me, we're going to have to put these monitors inside you, because like your contractions, they're spaced out now. They're not 6 minutes apart anymore. They're very irregular. And we just need to check. And you're not dilating anymore. And I'm just like, not to be absurd, but I really have to poop. Like, I have pressure in my butt. And she was like, you have pressure in your butt? That's a good thing. So they checked to see if I was dilated, and I was fully dilated, y'all. Fully dilated! So, being as though I was fully dilated, they were like, okay, we'll be back in 20 minutes, and then you can start pushing. It was a little bit longer than 20 minutes, and I started to like get the shakes. Like, my whole body just started shaking, and I was just so nervous. My ex is calling everybody, texting everybody. I'm texting the people who are most important to me, which pretty much is my cousins. That's it. My mom was there. What did I have to do that for? So they come back in, they set up everything. They're like, okay, we're going to do some practice pushes, okay? So they're telling me what to do. And then they're pushing. I'm pushing, and my mom's like, are you just holding your breath? Because... And I'm like, well, I don't know. They were like, well, do it like you have to poop. So I'm like, okay. And I really felt like I had to poop. So I really pushed. And then they like, do you want a mirror? Because you can see her head. Like, you can see it. She has a head full of hair. And I'm like, okay. So that kind of gave me motivation, because I could see what was going on down there. So as I'm pushing, I'm like, okay, so that's how you push. This is what you have to do. And the lady was saying she wanted me to do push for 10 seconds 3 times. So at first we were doing 3, but because my contractions were so spaced out and no longer 6 minutes apart, it was just like, she was like, okay, well, how about we do reps of, like, we do 4 reps, because you had time to take a break. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So I would go, she would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm pushing for those 10 seconds, and I went right back in. 4 times did that, and I just was like, yes, I gotta get this baby out of me, like, so my mom's holding my leg, the nurse is holding, a nurse is holding my other leg, it's a nurse in front of me, and the doctor doesn't come in until the head is basically hanging out, so, and my ex is behind the other nurse just getting a full-on view, and I'm just like, okay, gotta get this baby out of here. And he sees the baby's hair. Okay, now this whole pregnancy, he just was like, well, not the whole pregnancy, you guys know. So, pretty much during the pregnancy, he was like, she gonna be bald head because you don't have heartburn and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, boy, I want bald head, so no, my baby not gonna be bald head. He pretty much had full frontal view, and when he saw that hair, I saw that nod of approval, like, and I'm just like, yes, let's go. So, yeah, that's pretty much how it went, and my mom's holding my leg. Now, let me tell you guys, the epidural made my whole right side, my whole right leg basically numb to where I couldn't move it. So imagine you're in this position, and if no one's holding your leg just flops. Like, I could not move it, could not lift it, nothing. So my leg just kept bloop, bloop, and it was just a good experience to go through. And I pushed for like an hour and 20 minutes, and Zoe came at 4:32 p.m. on December 27th, 2015. She was 7 pounds, 11 ounces, and she is just the light to my world, and I just love her. I'm obsessed with her, like extremely obsessed. I really had like a easy labor. Like, I thought it would be the hardest thing ever, so painful, everything like that, because I watch YouTube videos. I watch people with epidural, and they still act like it is the most painful thing ever. And people at my job was like, girl, it hurts. It is blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna lie, it did not bother me at all. Like, if I had to do it again, I would definitely do it again. The delivery part, I would definitely do it again if it came down to it. Like, if I had to go back in time, I would do it again, because I actually enjoyed the experience of that. Something that I never thought I would ever do a day in my life, come across, or anything like that. So of course I would do it again. I really enjoyed my delivery, like really enjoyed it. And then after delivery, now that we're home, Zoe doesn't have a set like schedule. She sleeps when she wants, wake up when she wants. It doesn't really bother me. It did at first, because I'm so used to my sleep, and I love my sleep. Like, I cherish it. But now I'm just like, girl, you can wake me up as much as you want, but when I go back to work, that's gonna be crazy. So I'm gonna try and get her on a schedule, of course. I don't know how, but I'll figure it out. And I love seeing her and her dad together. I just think it is amazeballs. They're so perfect for each other. Like, you know how something needs to happen in order for you to understand why it happened? Like, I don't know. I can't really explain it, but I just love seeing them two together. It is the cutest thing ever. But yeah, and I just be like, oh, look at my little dysfunctional family. So I'm just in a good place right now, and I'm happy, super duper excited, ready to see what 2016 brings me. And yeah, I'm excited. I even dyed my hair. Well, I got my hair dyed before I even had Zoe, which they say that you shouldn't do it, but that's early on in the pregnancy. I actually got my hair dyed Christmas Eve. So my hair was dyed for my labor and everything. But yeah, I think it's time to wrap this video up because Zoe's about to start crying. So yeah, I just wanted to say Happy New Year. I hope that 2016 brings you guys nothing but success, and I'll try to get some videos up for you guys, some makeup videos, some story time videos, some DIYs. I'm trying to get a schedule going for my YouTube channel. I do want to go back to school, so I'm gonna have to figure out a full-time schedule so you guys know when I'll be posting videos. Okay, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.